Greetings and welcome. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events. All cases are treated as alleged until proven in a court of law. All right, so I'm going to be looking at Rachel's case, and the case pinged on me, I would say, about a month from now, and I'm recording this on the April 26th, when the perpetrator, or let's say the person of interest, was exiting another house during another robbery, and apparently his DNA was found at the scene. So technically there is a person of interest. And Rachel went missing on August the 5th, 2023. And she was discovered on August 6th, 2023. Actually, let me just add you. So let me just give you where I am. I'm a little bit less, or let's put it this way, I'm 50-50 at the moment, let's just say. So the discovery day, August 6th. So the reason why I'm 50-50 at the moment is because when the news broke of the potential perpetrator, and then I saw a video recently, and I'd actually prepared the show at that time, and I'll even show you my original over here. Now let's take this as a draft one, and then I'm just going to go back to the main one. Yeah. Okay, this is the most recent one. So my focus at the moment has been entirely on the event day leading up to the reflection day in the blue block. And I've been looking at the other dates just to look at or discover and see if there are any anomalies. We got some background music. We're about to have a typical Johannesburg half-felt thunderstorm, electric storm. All right, I'm going to carry on. So my initial feeling, and I'm still getting the same feeling now, something's not adding up for me here. I'm not convinced of the perpetrator or the person of interest that people have in mind. The guy wearing the red cap and coming out the door. Something just irked me from the beginning. So, pretty much what I've done up to now is just highlighted for me what are problematic numbers. I've brought in a ghost day for August the 5th as well. Because in my opinion, if I look at reflection day, and Spirit just told me twice, not all cases are going to be easy, right? So the reflection day, let's start there, because here is where I find the most anomalies. And normally with reflection days, it should be clear-cut. I've just picked up a message here. Sorry for stopping abruptly. All right. I think my hunch has been confirmed. Now let's look at, and we'll get there. Don't leave you hanging. You will get there. Reflection day. August the 8th, 2023. 72 hours of the missing day. And of course, August 9 will be the reflection day of the discovery. In fact, let me just, because actually what I just realized is the August 9 is also telling a story here. So already I'm feeling that nothing is what it seems. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, unfortunately, we have a 14-5 outcome on the reflection day. And we have a 14-5 in the day when Rachel was discovered. And the 14-5 is lies, deception. Something is not right about this case. I believe the most recent video that popped up on my feed is that they've matched this guy somehow to the DNA via parental heritage, that kind of thing. There's no issues with that. Fine. We note in a few cases where they've used that technology. And I'm just trying to recall the most recent example. Gosh. Now, the reflection day, we've got a 14-5 outcome. So there's one red flag for me, or I've made it orange. We'll also note the mass of sevens. We've got a 777, 16, 7, and the 7 from the year. So that's problematic for me. There's lies and deception going on here for sure. So the 8 plus the 8 in the red block for me is also a red flag. Because technically what we have there is a bumping of heads of sorts. There's, what's my usual word? There is a conflict of interest here. When 8s or any numbers that are positioned against each other. And because we're in a negative context, tells me there's a conflict of interest between two people here. The 16-7 that I've highlighted in red, of course, on one level you could say, well, there's a serial offender. He's been committing this crime more than once. That is okay, but the problem is the combination of the numbers is problematic for me. And I looked at, and I'll show you a very basic, well, let me just sort this out quickly. The person of interest was involved in a house invasion. And again, unfortunately, it was a violent encounter. The people inside that particular house were injured, so badly injured. So I called those dates out as well around that event because, of course, what we can do is look at that event as well and see if there's any matches or any kind of sequencing that we can say, all right, person of interest has this kind of pattern or kind of energy around him. And I had a look here. The only real match for me, and there seems to be a very similar pattern here. So I will say, leading up to the event, there is similar sequences. It's like a similar build-up. And I've noted on March 27, the 19-10-1-10-1 outcome. So if we go back to Rachel's slide, from August 1 to August 4, we see a very similar pattern from this person of interest. But in my opinion, the key numbers that I'm looking for in that pattern would be, of course, we can say 14-5. But mainly I'm looking for the 16-7, because we also note a presence of a 16-7 on August 1. So we have an anomaly there on August 1. We have the 16-7 and all the 7s. So this also confirms my theory. Something's amiss with this case. So firstly, I will say, I don't believe this was a random stalking and attack like we would have seen in the Samantha Murphy case. Because there are similar numbers here, even with the Samantha Murphy case, the 16-7. So my initial thing was, well, could this guy be a serial killer? Was it a serial killer that did this? So random serial killer happens to be at the park at the same time as Rachel, or waiting in the bushes for someone to run by. I mean, it is plausible. So with such a serious number as 16-7, that's a very serious number in a crime. And when I pull out the dates of the person of interest, I'm not seeing that number here. I mean, we could say if we opened up the day for March 24, technically we will see a 16-7 there, but it's not where it's supposed to be in this sequence, where it should be like right in your face. If it's a serial killer, for example, so definitely not. But that 16-7 is a very strong number, especially where it's sitting on the reflection day, and there's definitely nothing like that in the sequence. So what does bother me about the home invasion sequence is that 19-10-1, because that does speak about murderous intent with financial gain in mind. Okay. And when we get to Rachel's slide, the 19-10-1 actually sits the day before she goes missing. Now, of course, her boyfriend at the time reported the missing part late August 5. And she was discovered August 6. And one other thing before we continue on, and we'll come around to all of these points I'm making, because that's how I've approached this. I've first looked at what is wrong here from a numbers point of view leading up to and after the event. We'll also note August 7 before August 8, we have the 777s as well. There's some serious control issues going on. The 22-4 on August the 7th also bothers me, because that actually speaks to a plan. Now let's just go back to the person of interest. I could be making an assumption here. This is not a psychic thing, but I'm just saying, if the perpetrator's MO is home invasions, home breakings, breaking and entering, theft. Now, I don't know what his record was, or whatever it is. I just find it strange that the next day he's hiding in the bush waiting for someone to come by to attack. I'll buy it if he's sitting in a bush around the corner by a house and Rachel walks into the house and there's a home invasion. I'll buy that. But you're going from an urban rat. Now all of a sudden he's a field mouse waiting for some perpetrator to hopefully run by in the next half hour. That's what's bugging me. Something is not right for me with this case. So I'm going to point out the other numbers. So I've mentioned August 6, 14, 5 in orange. That for me is problematic. Huh? We've seen this in recent cases. What we know about this situation is a lie. Now let's look at the event day, because there's some anomalies here. Actually, I'm going to draw a block around one now. So if we look at August the 5th, all I'm doing so far is just looking at problems, okay? I don't have the full picture yet by any means, because I believe there's more than just one thing going on here. There's something else going on here. We'll note the 20 outcome 2 on August the 5th in orange. So here's another conflict for me. So according to reports, and we'll come back, according to reports, Rachel had just announced her boyfriend on social media, so they're together, they're in a relationship, everything's great. Okay. Now, August the 5th, I've put that block there. So when Rachel wakes up that morning, she has a 5, an 8, and a 7. Now, let's just look at the 5 and the 8. That is not the best. Let's just say if it was a blissful relationship, you don't necessarily want to wake up with a 5. Okay. Of course, we all woke up that day and it was a 5 day, so there might have been some difficulties, the odd bumping of the knee on a side bed or whatever. It was a very difficult morning. There may have been other issues around the household that made things a little bit annoying in the morning. But then with the combination 13-4, and I've tried to look at both options here. So 13-4, let's say for argument's sake, because apparently it was 3 or 4 days before the event day, or 5 days, that she made the announcement in a relationship, or at least for the first time going public with a relationship, right? So the 13-4 is too far away from that day, if it's 3 or 5 days even, or 5 days. Because 13-4, then I can believe, okay, it's new beginnings. Rachel is comfortable with her new boyfriend, and she then views this as a new beginning. Of course, there's the larger family at play, the children, etc. So the 13-4 then would denote, okay, life is good. This is the new life. I'm happy. However, when we see the 22, which means there was some kind of crying, match, tears, outburst, not good. So now when you look back in the day, so what were the numbers in the day that brought about this outburst? And I discussed this issue in the book with Gabby Petito, that we see that 20, and I still recall August the 12th. Was it August the 12th? When we have the body cam footage of her and the fiance being pulled over. I'm just checking quickly, beg your pardon, just to make sure. But what I'm getting to is with Gabby Petito on that 12th of, I keep thinking it is the 12th. Let's just have a look here. Yeah, so August the 12th, 2021, August the 12th, you'll see in the book, I point this out specifically because it's an emotional marker, 22. So when we saw Gabby and her fiance being pulled over, and we saw how she was crying and in an emotional state, that is exactly what a 20 is. I mean, there are other meanings, but in a crying match situation, 22, 20 with an outcome 2, that is tears, emotional trauma, high energy, exactly what we saw Gabby in the video, the police cam footage. So when we look at the numbers leading up to that 20, we've got a 5, which is like I said, it's a problematic number. We have a 13-4. I'm getting a sense of the opposite here. Something goes down August the 5th in the day with this couple. That even the August the 5th, 11-2, that's hugely problematic now when you look at all these combination of numbers. Because the 11-2 is a law has been broken. Something is unlawful. Of course, there is something unlawful. Rachel went missing, yes. Now, 11-2 in the context of a couple, it could also be going separate ways. 13-4 is beginnings or endings. And with the 11-2, what we know about the situation is not true. So this is what's bugging me. The following day obviously starts with a 6. Now that's 6. And with the 8 in the year is a very, very violent situation. 6, very aggressive. 8, very violent on the body. Which gives you the 14-5. Something is not adding up with this case. And the fact that there are so many 7s, it's my usual issue that if I see 7s at a crime scene, I get suspicious. But I will say I'm not, at this point, I don't have enough evidence to say that law enforcement was involved. But there's certainly something about these 7s around here. So, in my opinion, whoever murdered Rachel, and this could be the most controversial, but the person that murdered Rachel was very familiar to Rachel, in my opinion. We see the 24/6 on April the 9th. That is very familiar. And I'm still getting nothing is what it seems here. But there's definitely something's not adding up here. So the perpetrator is definitely known to Rachel. This was not random at all, in my opinion. The shadow day of the event day, we see the 36/9, so that's a very bad murder. And then we also, funny enough, in the shadow day, we see the mass of 4 sevens. It's like this is actually like looking at the Amanda Knox murders, yeah. Or murder, sorry. And very troublesome is the 50. I'm going to actually mark that in orange. Okay, so I'm going to say it now. Now, according to reports, and the first time I looked at this case, which was a month or so ago, of course, the current boyfriend does have quite a record, actually. Quite a record. And of course, everyone can change. No issues with that. I have no issues with that. If people have paid their time and they've paid their due, of course, the trust levels are not exactly high, but everyone deserves a second chance, right? Maybe they made a mistake in the first one. But when I see the 50 and the 5, that to me, this is like big drugs. There's big drugs in play. We see the 14/5 here as well, 14/5/5. There's a drug situation going on here. So to see if there is drugs or is drugs part of the issue, we need to find it in the real, on the actual days. And the number for drugs is number 5. So event day, August 5 is problematic. In fact, let me just make that red. The 14/5 obviously speaks about drugs as well. And we note the reflection day has the 14/5/5 outcome. So I'm going to say drugs were involved here. So what kind of drugs were these is the question. Is it the street drug or is it gym drugs? Do you know what I mean? But there's some underhanded deals or situation going on here as well. And I will just say that it's pretty much hidden from it's definitely black market behind the doors. It's not particularly visible up front in the real, but I can see a presence. But if you bring in something like the shadow day and you get a 50/5 and a 14/5 outcome, that is I'm going to say, I said this to a client once before, a deadly combination. Deadly combination. 50. All right, so The 22-4 on August the 7th also bugs me because that is about planning. There's also a mass of sevens with an outcome 13-4. I'm saying there was intention here. There was planning here, not random home invasion person waiting in a bush in the park. And there are police around here as well. Something is not right about this case. And if I look to the follow-up days, beg your pardon, July 29, July 30, July 31 into August, I was trying to see, what is going on here. And I can definitely say there's a lot of not nice numbers around. There was definitely something going on in the background here. And the current boyfriend will definitely have more information. But the numbers and the days leading up to the event, particularly in July, end of July, not very good. And this is the thing, they say she pronounced her love for him or put him on Facebook probably around about July 30th, July 29. But something tipped the scales here. And I'm just trying to identify this. The 19-10-1 August 4 is potentially problematic. I'm actually going to mark it in orange because that is about murder, but there's a motive as money. There's a deal that goes down. Reminds me of the where is that show now? Is it Michaela? Reminds me of Michaela. Where there are deals going down. There's a lot of things going on in the background. I would say, based on the reflection day, there's at least 2 or 3 situations happening here. So we've got a conflict of interest, 8 and 8. It needs to be taken care of, 16-7. Or actually the 16-7 could, if we take it on a very basic level, recurring behavior. So was there issues between Rachel and her boyfriend at the time that he was doing something wrong the whole time or keeps doing something wrong, whatever that is? And of course, may have got out of hand. And this is what bothers me. On August the 5th, there's that 22. That's not a happy ending to a day, by the way. Or the alternative is, not the alternative outcome, but the alternative to 22 is also pregnancy. 20 can also denote pregnancy. But I don't believe it was about pregnancy. This was an emotional outburst here. So did something happen the day before? So the day before is the 19-10-1. Now something's not right here. Yeah, I don't know if I can add any more. And I'm certainly not trying to fit a circle in a square and a square in a circle to make a story, but the anomaly, there's too many anomalies here. Of course, there's a very negative event, yes. But the combination of these numbers, there's something wrong here. Is the eventer actually the eventer? So what is that? Sunday, Saturday, Friday. Because August the 3rd is not a very good day either. Huh? So August the 3rd, we note the 11-2 in the day, and there's with the 7s as well. Huh? With the 16-7 and stack of 7s on August 1, there's a good probability of law enforcement, part of a group or part of or associated to security or law enforcement. That's what I'm saying. The build-up to the day, there's already discussions about murder going on here. 17-8. There's an organization involved, 10-1. That's on August the 2nd. Get to August the 3rd, there's a little bit of instability in the day, 11-2, with an outcome 18-9. Something's not adding up here. But on the other hand, I'm also getting the same feeling like I did when I looked at this the first time. That guy doesn't seem right for me, the person of interest. Doesn't seem right. It just doesn't sit with me. All right, maybe I should just leave it here for now. If any more information becomes available, I'll add on. But there's certainly two people that have a conflict of interest. And we can even go as far as to say they are people of the like. So in other words, in the same circle of friends, the same economic background, the same lifestyle, they're the same people. They have a conflict. Rachel's not having a dispute or issues with a petty criminal. Well, he's not really that petty. He's done some heinous crimes. But what I'm saying is she wouldn't be mingling, or the conflict of interest wouldn't be with him. But the 50 for me in the ghost day is problematic as well. All right, I'm going to leave it there for now. If any more developing information is made available, I'll have a look at it. But for me, I'm not buying the story. I'm not buying the narrative here. Something is off. All right, let me know what your thoughts are. I do love engaging with your comments. And once again, thanks for being subscribers to those that have subscribed, and thank you for watching the videos. I do appreciate it. Please stay safe, stay alert, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.